Hello everyone, I'm Tejasvi Mahajan.
And I'm Rini Mehra from Legal Tribe. Today we have with us a person who is an excellent advocate in his own realm.
He is Mr. Avinash Mohapatra, a partner at a Delhi-based law firm. We are happy to have you here, sir.
Mr. Avinash graduated from Symbiosis Law School, Pune in 2008. After that, he bagged a scholarship and got selected for LLM at King's College London, where he mastered in international finance laws. Thereafter, Mr. Mohapatra worked with two mid-sized UK-based law firms, Edwards Duthie and KM Legal.
After working with two mid-sized UK law firms, he came back to India and has been in Delhi for almost a decade now. He has practiced law under various law offices such as SNG Partners, Legacies Partners, and Global Legal Associates, etc. He was also an Associate Vice President Legal for Mizuho Bank, and presently he majorly practices banking and company litigation, amongst others, and has been part of landmark judgments.
So guys, it's really a very generous introduction from you guys, and you and Tejas, we both hope you have been very kind with the introduction.
12 years in the field of law. Like, you must have come across a lot of CVs. In fact, like, you must have made a CV yourself, considering its importance and all. So what do you think a CV should look like? Like, what all should be added in it and what all should not be added in it?
Well, CV happens to be the most important diary, I would say academic diary, which you actually present to the world at large, or at least to your recruiter, meaning thereby curriculum vitae. That is, CV stands for curriculum vitae. That is what it stands for. And most importantly, it should highlight the skill sets which you have possessed during your college term, and try and include the most relevant aspects of it. Meaning, suppose I have won a moot court wherein it pertained to a family law, to Mohammedan law, and I'm applying for a position which is only for commercial law. Hence, you have to do away with the information which is not really relevant. And for a CV, you asked me especially what it should look like. That with my experience, I would say things have changed a little bit since our times. So you must upgrade yourself, be it the CV, or be it in writing pattern, or be it about reaching out to your recruiters or the internship positions which you are actually applying for. What I mean to say is that the present day CV, it should have two columns, like especially on the left. If you have seen most of these organizations, be it like Bar Council of Delhi and all the people in power, like the treasurer, the founding admin, their contacts appear on the left. So that is where you must highlight it, especially on the left. It should carry at the outset your name, your residential address. Nowadays, we are all global citizens. So you should have your LinkedIn profile as well. If you do not have it, you must have it, like, by all means. If you are a law student, that is where you actually show yourself to the world at large. Your LinkedIn profile shows it to the world that you are a professional. You know how to interact, you know how to connect with people. So it should have your LinkedIn profile additionally. Number, when you write your contact number, make sure that you are writing +91 before that, provided, of course, I am assuming that most of your audience are Indian citizens. That helps people to connect you on WhatsApp number as well. If you are having a different WhatsApp number, please ensure that your WhatsApp number is also mentioned in here. So those are majorly your contact details. Thereafter, you highlight as to what are your skill sets, and you also say what is your specialization in. Like, if you have specialized, suppose you are law students just out of college, you must highlight your achievements on the left. On your right, you give all of the on the right, which is a little more detailed. Like, I'll tell you, people just spend about 30 seconds on your CV. There will be a number of CVs in the inbox of your recruiter. However, if you have to give yourself preference, then your CV at the very outset, it has to highlight all the necessary relevant details as to where exactly you graduated from, what are your interests, in fact, your hobbies as well. If you happen to be a cricket enthusiast, if you happen to follow the BBC debates, if you happen to follow the United Nations debates, then you must highlight them, because at times what happens is your recruiter connects with you from those hobbies. He understands that, okay, this person has interest and enthusiasm in a particular area. Hence, it makes more sense to actually see and actually meet him in person. So that will give you an insight. Thereafter, you must also ensure that all your awards and achievements are highlighted. See, guys, we are all in the business of sales. Even if we are not salesmen, we are still selling ourselves, and hence we must ensure that our salability is highlighted on the particular curriculum vitae. I hope your question is answered.
So while we're at it, I'd also want to ask about the color scheme of a CV. Like, should it be a little colorful or just plain black and white would do the job?
Thank you that you actually asked that to me. It's extremely pertinent that your CV stands out from the rest of them. Meaning thereby, please do not use the unimpressive or very common CVs which have these fonts like, Times New Roman, or a very common CV like Arial. At least many people are impressed with Arial. One of my ex-bosses, he loved Arial, but I did not. My personal favorite happens to be Palatino, Helvetia. Those are few fonts which you can use, maybe 12, and the spacing should be 1.5. And the color aspect, yes, you can try the blue or dark blue as a font, and always ensure that it is PDF, not Word document, because Word document can be edited. PDF does not get edited easily. So it's always preferable that you send it in a PDF version to your recruiter, and when they open it, it looks professional. Like if it is in blue with properly highlighted, italicized, and the relevant aspects made in bold, it will certainly have a bigger appeal, and it will touch your recruiters where it needs most.
So yesterday I was searching the web for the topic of CV, and I came across a short article which differentiated between a CV and a resume. So most of us, including me, don't exactly know what is the difference between a CV and a resume. So could you shed some light upon that?
Well, actually, there's a world of difference, I must say. In fact, in India, what we do, we use these terms interchangeably. But there's a world of difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae. A curriculum vitae is like a more detailed approach. And at the outset, I must tell you, never use the term biodata, which is also used. That is inappropriate, because biodata is more like biographical data, like what's your date of birth, whether or not you're married or not. So biodata is a very loose term. Please do not use it. Resume and CV, they are very appropriate. And in India, we use it interchangeably. However, it matters as to what exactly you are looking for. See, curriculum vitae are those which you apply for academic positions as well as a tailor-made position. Suppose you are applying for a legal counsel in a real estate sector. So you have to tailor-make your resume. Resume is a shorter version of a CV. And ideally, it should just be a one-pager, wherein all your relevant aspects, your contact details are all highlighted in one go. And you also say as to what exactly you have done so far in life that would actually benefit the company or the position which you are applying for. However, curriculum vitae, on the other hand, it's like a more detailed aspect of your CV, of your profile, which highlights as to what all research aspects you have done, what all publications you have done, and what are your areas of interest. And suppose like I'm applying for a commercial law firm and I have an extra degree in IPR, I can highlight it. There is no harm in it, because at times there would be situations wherein your areas actually overlap. Like it's not uncommon that in a commercial law firm you do not get questions pertaining to IPR and all that. So that would still be relevant. But if I write that, okay, I wrote an article, I authored an article which ultimately got published in Mohapatra, that was on, talaq. So it's not relevant, right? So it can be included in a CV, but not in a resume. A resume is more like a tailor-made or a customized version of your profile, which you're applying for that particular position. So you do away with the rest of the crap, pardon my language, the things which are not relevant. Maybe it was just an attempt to connect with younger guys like you.
Like we have known in your introduction that you have a taste of both corporate world as well as the litigating world. So like, do you think there's a difference between a corporate world CV and a litigating world CV? Like for a person going like wanting to enter the corporate world, like does he have to do something exceptional to be on his CV as compared to a person going into a litigating world?
That question, Tejasvi, I would say, I would not say that there is a world of difference between these two. But again, I think if you go back to my answer in your previous question, I said it's more like a customized approach that you go for. Like, I know that I'm going for this job of a legal counsel in an MNC bank. I would rather like to highlight the aspects which are relevant, which are found relevant by the recruiter. Meaning, like I have done documentation work in syndicated loans. Like my specialization or my thesis happened to be the one in which I have dealt with credit derivatives, swaps, options, and all. Coming to banking sector, that is more technical. Forget about the technical bit. That's just an example which I'm highlighting. If I say that, okay, I have appeared in, I have drafted so many SLPs and all that, that may not be really, all these corporates, they'll always give you something called a JD. JD stands for job description. Now, from the JD, you highlight as to what all aspects are relevant from your profile, you highlight them. Do away with the rest of the aspects which are not relevant. At the same time, suppose you are applying for a banking position or a real estate position. So if you have some litigating experience, meaning that even if you have interned, make sure that you highlight it in your CV. Suppose you interned with a lawyer or law firm wherein you did some research, and that research actually aided the firm to file an appeal, and that appeal was successful. And Tejasvi, from your recent experience, you'd know that you have done some exceptional research work, which actually aided us to get really good orders. So those aspects should be highlighted, and you are no less. Like, meaning, your seniors always take you, whoever grants you work or assigns you certain research, he understands that you have that ability as law students and those analytical skills to bring that to the forefront. So yes, you have to do away with the irrelevant information, and your resume or the curriculum, which as you may call it, it must highlight the things which are of utmost pertinence. If you are a banking lawyer, if you have assisted in a Section 37 CRPC summary suit judgment, and which both results, ensure that it is highlighted. And if you write that, okay, these are the articles which I have written, it may not pertain to that particular domain, but even if it is closely related, do not miss out on that. In litigation, however, you have to ensure that you have interned, the legal procedure, and you have interest and enthusiasm in the domain which are pertinent to see. There will be certain common aspects like research, legal research, that is sine qua non for anybody. Sine qua non, indispensable factor for a lawyer. If you're a law student, research, we take it all of you possess research skills. Some of you may have exceptional skills, and some of you may need some polishing. So that aspect you may not need to highlight. But thereafter, if you have worked a little further on it, like you have got opportunities, ensure that you highlight it. Suppose you have prepared an affidavit of evidence, looking at a particular complaint, thereafter in the DRT, you have assisted a lawyer while you are interning and preparing the affidavit of evidence. You must by all means ensure it if you are applying for a litigating position. Suppose you have had a publication which pertains to an area which is pending adjudication in the Supreme Court. So that person knows that it is an intelligent guess for anyone to know that this person has enthusiasm or interest in this particular area. So all the more reasons that you actually highlight that in your particular curriculum vitae.
Coming back to the structure of the CV, it's such an important question that I'd like to come back to it again. So, what type of a CV structure or an application structure is typically frowned upon in the legal world?
Well, that's a very relevant question, actually. I would say, what people do, just as I said earlier, we draft a particular CV and the same CV will circulate to all law firms without knowing what or exactly what specialization do they have. I apply to a particular IP law firm, and in my CV, I'm writing that I have had certain publications which pertain to family law or forensic law, or I have done this specialization course in forensic medicine and toxicology. It does not really help you. So, one, again, going back to the same thing, at the cost of being repetitive, do not include the irrelevant information. Number two, you must get your CV proofread by some other person who's more experienced, or maybe just your class fellow. Because we humans, we have this ability, we have these shortcomings rather, to understand that okay, my writing would be infallible, but we do away with the grammatical errors which may not look good. And in a country like India, the presumption which comes from a law student that you have decent command over the language. So if you are having punctuation errors and you are using jargons like inter alia and all in your CV, it certainly doesn't look good. I have come across CV where people are using Latin maxims, and because nemo iudex in causa sua. However, I am a very hardworking person. Person who's actually looking at your CV, he knows. I mean, he is certainly at a more experienced position to know, and it may look laughable. Of course, you empathize with people due to inexperience, but when you ask your seniors or reach out to people who have been there, done that, they would certainly be happy to guide you. And I'd like to tell you, number one, get your CV proofread by someone else. Ensure that your CV is in a PDF version. Number three, do not use all caps. I have received CVs in the past which are all caps. So maybe those people who had applied for a certain position while I was in a recruiting position in a law firm, they were from certain rural places and English was haphazard and all that. However, not to just break their morale or downgrade their morale, I gave them a courtesy call. However, I told them that you must reach out to your seniors who can just proof it a little bit. You can work out certain aspects on his CV like punctuation errors, grammatical errors, and information which is irrelevant. Like I remember a CV, he mentioned that he's a big fan of snakes and ladders. Is it going to impress anyone? It's not, right? So you can do away with it. However, suppose you're a traveler and your job wants you to do a bit of traveling. So there's a connection which you can always try. Do not do away with by not including those relevant aspects. Upon frowning upon, see, we all make mistakes, we all learn. So it may not necessarily be frowned upon, but may not necessarily crack the eyes. Like may not impress the person if it's in haphazard manner, or it's. I mean, once you spend the first 20 seconds go through the first page, it becomes fairly clear as to whether or not he has looked into the job description, what we are looking for. If he is not highlighting the drafting aspect, which is sign paid on for a lawyer, which the position required, it becomes anybody's guess that, okay, he hasn't done his homework. So again, the bottom line is that do your homework, connect yourself to the job description, then I think you'll have an edge, certainly.
Coming back to the very next important thing which we wanted to ask you, about the importance of cover letter. Like nobody knows, most of the people send out their CVs without a cover letter. We would want you to tell us what is the main importance of the cover letter and what role does it plays to your recruiters?
Thanks, Tejasvi. Thanks for that question. The cover letter is actually the bridge which would connect your CV to the job at hand. Meaning thereby, see, the CV most definitely would come as an attachment. See, the cover letter is one which is the soul of your application. One has to be impressed by your cover letter and also your subject line. And only then you'll be enticed or be interested to go to that attachment and click and open it. Suppose the cover letter does not appeal at all. You would not go to the very soul of your CV. And the cover letter gives you an opportunity to connect what exactly LinkedIn did while I was talking about LinkedIn. In your cover letter, suppose one of your seniors who happens to be a friend of your recruiter or an acquaintance or a business associate of your recruiter, he has referred a particular job position to you. That is what you highlight in the first paragraph. And the subject line as well. The subject line shows your confidence and how exactly you fit into that position. Subject, if it's a very generic subject line, it's not going to be. One of those subject line I really liked while I was with Legacy Partners was someone had written his name, then the best addition to your law firm. Like, look at the young man's confidence. Now that appeals, that certainly appeals. Then you go to the particular cover letter. In the cover letter, in the opening paragraph, you say that pursuant to your publication on Naukri.com or a reference from your business associate or your friend, Mr. XYZ, with that there's an opening with regard to this position in your firm. And in the second bit, you highlight your skills as to how the job and your skills which you have attained make a perfect match. See, do not use jargons, do not use adjectives like hardworking, enthusiasm. People who are in position of recruiters, they know it all. These do not impress them. You show what you have achieved. Of course, even if you have not, you may remember the kinetic energy and the potential energy in science, which we all studied at school. So if you highlight the aspects of potential energy, meaning thereby, if you have done a lot of research, you have had some publication, highlight them. If you have adjudicated a moot court, ensure that you highlight them in the second bit, in the second paragraph, but it should not go beyond 5 lines, I'd say. First is the introduction, wherein you say as to how you happen to apply for this position. And yes, more importantly, the first aspect, when you address the person, ensure that you address them by second name. Whenever you are using Mr. and Ms., ensure, of course, sir or ma'am is fine, but never use sir or ma'am if you know your recruiter's gender. If you know, like Mrs. Wadhwa is going to conduct that interview, either address her as madam or you address her as Mrs. Wadhwa or Miss Wadhwa. So that impresses. That is where you make the connection with your recruiter. And when you make the connection, the subject line, thereafter you go to the opening line, opening paragraph, where you see as to how you applied for it. And finally, you say that it would be worthwhile to have a conversation as to how, and then maybe I can highlight as to how my skill set and your job requirement make a perfect match. Then you end with a decent British thanks and regards or sincerely yours. And then finally, you ensure that you make a reference to enclosure, and then you put your CV. Even if you're attaching it, you also write enclosures, curriculum vitae, and or you may either write PS enclosures. The curriculum vitae is attached here, so that the person does not miss out. I hope that answers the question.
Certainly, sir. And anything else that you would like to tell our viewers so that they can gain from your mistakes and experiences?
Oh, well, I'm still learning. I would say, even if there are some gray hair on the sides, I would say I'm still learning, and there's a long way to go. Mistakes, yes, we are all humans, we make mistakes. One thing, looking at hindsight, I must say that, do not undermine things like decent friendship and teamwork. That is what you learn at law school. If you are working on a moot, you know what teamwork is. You assign the work, you divide the work amongst yourself. That is called teamwork. And throughout your lives, see, law is like symphony. One person does not play the music. It takes an orchestra to play it. So dynamics of the legal profession has changed. We all have to do teamwork. So you have to focus on your teamwork in school, in law school. And another aspect is, understand the value of friendship. If we have good seniors, never undermine the power of alumni. You have, like you guys are in your first year, people who are in their final year, if you have assisted them in any research work, maybe on a voluntary basis, that person already knows you. Now, tomorrow, when they are in a position of power, position of recruitment, you should certainly reach out to them. So that is where friendship and networking is developed. Never ever, hesitate from asking your seniors for help. So that is another aspect. Even if it's a stranger, it's a senior who's uh, seen the legal life more than you. It should not stop you from reaching out to that person, because unless you reach out to that person would not know as to what exactly you're looking for. Because to make an impact, you have to reach out to people. And while I answer that, I must also say, while you send across your CVs, number one, ensure that you follow. Number two, while you send across your CVs, do not just go to the electronic mode, go for the traditional mode as well. In the past, these are not my mistakes, but this is something which I learned from my juniors. In fact, I would mention his name as well, is Mr. Shravan Tarya Chandra. I think he's working at AZB now in Bangalore. He had advised this, and I have taken it with both hands. So there's always good things to learn from your seniors and your juniors. So you send your CV in traditional mode as well. What's the harm if you're serious about the position? What's the harm in sending across your hard copy of your cover letter, decently written on your letterhead, and which looks very professional? And with that, you annex your CV. And at least if it's addressed to that attorney or that lawyer, she opens it and he goes through your CV. And who knows, that may just prove to be an edge, because there would be number of CVs flooded in the inbox, and you'd be at the mercy of the people who are receiving it at the very outset. However, if you want to jump the gun, if you want to ensure your chances, ensure that your CVs and cover letter are also sent by traditional modes. Having said that, in law school, always have a very balanced life, because rest of your life, you still have to work. Of course, I do not mean to say that you just waste your time on watching YouTube, Netflix, and all that, but have this habit of developing these bonds, developing good friendship, developing networking, saying pleasantries, and learning another language.
I think our viewers have gained a lot of things from you, and I hope that they'll implement the same in their life to reap the results in future.
Thank you, Tejasvi. It was actually my privilege to reach out to youngsters like you, because enthusiasm at your stage is something perhaps wasn't there in us. The world is much more competitive, so it's good that you guys have started with this legal tribe as a platform, which would help many others like you. I wish we had something like this in our times, but then technology always has its backlashes. So I wish you guys all the best. Rennie and you are doing a fantastic job. Wish you all the very best. It was actually my privilege. And guys, never hesitate to reach out to people for help. People are willing to help, irrespective of their busy schedules. There are always guides which are present in lawyers, but they would not open the mouth unless you reach out to them. So do not hesitate from asking help from your seniors or people who have seen the world a little more than you. So with that note, again, thank you guys. Thanks for reaching out, and you made this Sunday special. Thank you.